opinion, but as long as it's the right opinion, or should I say the left opinion, you know this better than anybody else. What does it make you feel like when you see other athletes that can talk about this all day long, but you not so much?
I realized it for the first time. I remember I was playing for Boston Celtics, and I was talking about China, and I remember joining one of those shows on Fox. And I remember the next day I was getting dirty looks in a locker room. And I just didn't understand why my teammates were giving me the dirty looks. And I remember one of the coaches came up to me, what was one of the assistant coach, and he was whispering in my ear. He was like, "Hey man, good job last night." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, me and my family watched you last night and you did a pretty good job." I was like, "Then why are you whispering?" He said, "Well, because I don't want to get canceled." And I was just so confused. I told him, like, we are not in Iran. We are not in China. We are not in, Russia. We are in America. You have, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. They said, "Well, yeah, it doesn't work like that here." And I was just very confused. That's the first time I learned that I'm like, okay, things are a little weird.
What do you think about the NBA's hypocrisy on China? You tried to draw attention to it. LeBron, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, all these people who want to speak out about ills in America, they won't say a word about China. Mark Cuban, my buddy, as well.
I watch all the tweets.
Best friends.
It was so crazy because NBA was actually very supportive when I was talking about the problems that were happening in Turkey. Adam Silver, all the players, all the organizations. I talk about the problems that were happening in China one day. My phone was ringing once every hour. They said, "Do not say a word ever again. We're losing millions of dollars." They stopped streaming every Celtics game on the television in China and stuff. And I was like, well, that's another human rights issue.
They just had a piece talking about some woman, short hair, bleached blonde, talking kind of woke soccer or something. She's complaining that she doesn't make as much as a man. There's a lot of attributes to that. I could agree with it. Does she draw in the same fans? Do they pay? I mean, you can, in a woman's game, you can fill the stands, but maybe a quarter or half of the people in the audience got free tickets. Because often, just to fill the stands, they give out free tickets for women venues. Now that's the question. Are you bringing in the same fans as men that's paying the same price? If you are, then you should make the same amount of money that the men make. Now, if the men are bringing in people that pay more, or they're actually paying for their seats, then there's an argument to pay men more. It should be based on that. I don't know why it's so difficult in Congress to look at it and see gender phobia, or if it's right. Just to look at the numbers. Paying people, who's paying, how much are they paying, how much of the audience they're bringing in, how much are the owners not paying up, or however it goes. Now, that woman sitting there is talking about freedom for athletes, right? She's a female talking about gender phobe in sports. And at the same time, this beautiful female, what is her name? She came from, oh man, my mind is, I can't think of her name. Anyway, it happens to, sometimes they just cut to commercial. I got to cut to commercial. Let me get the name on commercial. But anyway, her piece talks about a Christian pitcher, and he lost his job because he was standing up for his Christian values. And another two of them, two Christians stayed up against the woke mob online, just standing and sharing their Christian faith, and they lost their jobs. Well, why isn't the woman that's protesting for a gender phobic sports place, Why isn't she crying out for those Christians losing their jobs? We have free speech in America. Why can't a Christian articulate his faith in what he believes in, and you stand on his side because it's morally wrong to fire him in America when he has free speech? If you want us to protest with you, woman, why aren't you protesting with us when we get fired? Did you get fired? You're just complaining about pay. They got fired.